Celebrating Home is one of America's largest direct sales party plan companies. In 2008, Home and Garden Party acquired Home Interiors to become the largest, specializing in home decor items. The company campus is located in Marshall, Texas. It consists of 10 buildings, one being for administration, one for maintenance, one for manufacturing, and the rest dedicated to the fulfillment center, which ships directly to the end user customer or to the hostess of a party. The pride and joy of the fulfillment center are the 4 3-story repack modules located in building number 8. The area being shown right now is in building number 5. It's what was called the wrap area. It's where master cases from imports were broken down into usable packaging for the repack modules and where kits were assembled prior to shipping to the new hostesses. One thing you will notice in these videos is the building is not set up for standard pallets. In fact, it's set up for a much smaller pallet due to the weight of the items, such as candles, and in the beginning it was required to ensure that we could get maximum pick density, the number of items in each pick module. So each pick module could contain all of the items in each of the catalogs. This is considered the slow season for Celebrating Home. We arrived at 11 o'clock and they had shipped 1,006 boxes. Orders are placed by the designer or customer online and enter the order management system. They are then run through the gen process and are printed here in what's called the print shack. The orders are printed on adhesive labels, which includes a content listing and barcodes for the top and sides of the box for shipping and warehouse purposes. After printing, the labels are taken to the box erection site, which is on a mezzanine 3 stories up, where boxes are taped, assembled, and labels applied. The boxes, now called movable units, are inserted into one of the 4 modules, depending upon which pick locations are required for that order. Intense planning is required for proper placement of the items within the pick modules. The denser, more heavier, or long and oblong items are placed on the top of the module. That way, the smaller items which are placed in later do not have to be moved around to make room for these larger items. The Inventory Control Manager doubles as the slotting manager for this function. The conveyor system guides the movable units to the appropriate pick locations by use of the barcodes on the bottoms of the movable units. When the movable unit is guided to a pick zone, the order filler scans the movable unit and the pick-to-light system lights up the appropriate locations and the quantity of that item that's required for the order. The order filler goes to that location, retrieves the item, and extinguishes the pick light. After all picks in that zone have been completed, the order filler places the box back on the conveyor line where it's forwarded to the next switch, where it will either go down 1 level or it will go to the other side of the same level. In years past, with larger catalogs and higher SKU counts, sometimes the movable units would have to go through 2 pick modules to complete all of the picks for the customer order. High priority or specialty orders are printed on different colors of paper to help them stand out against a large crowd of other movable units. There are up to 10 pick zones on each level of the repack modules. Based on volume levels, numbers of people can be increased or decreased to help prevent bottlenecks. The overhead conveyor you see here is specifically for cardboard. When items in the pick locations are broken down, the scrap cardboard is placed in this upstairs conveyor where it's forwarded out the door to an automatic compactor. there is one of these cardboard conveyors on every level of the pick module and in the wrap stations you saw at the beginning of the video. After the movable unit has completed its tour through the modules and all picks have been accomplished, the movable units are forwarded to one of two switching stations. These switching stations either send the movable unit back for additional picks that might have been missed, or to the packing stations. The conveyor system was designed with the ability to hold large slugs of work for later release into the different work areas. This way, additional manpower or stations can be opened to gradually increase or decrease workflow levels. This is the first of the switching stations, where the MU is switched by the system to either continue on to the second module or to move towards the packing stations. This is the gravity-fed conveyor that leads to one of the packing stations. To fill any extra space in the packages, inflated air film is used. The overhead hopper is continuously overfilled, so the employee is never having to wait for air film to be produced. The employee closes the box, and then it's forwarded through the automatic taping machine. From here, the movable unit will move to a higher level where it will cross the scale and sorter. If there is a discrepancy in the actual weight of the box versus what the system calculates the weight of the box should be, the box is diverted to the quality assurance station, where an employee empties the contents of the box and verifies accuracy of the order. If the order is found to be accurate, the QA associate then weighs the individual items to help find any discrepancies in weight or cube of the items in the WMS system. After the movable unit leaves the packing station, it moves up towards these overhead conveyor lines. You can see there's excess lines, so large slugs of work can be held should it be needed to help even out the workflow. Here the movable unit goes across the scale where it's weighed, and an overhead scanner reads the FedEx shipping label on the top of the movable unit. Then as the movable unit travels down this conveyor belt, the system directs the paddle to switch it in to the proper FedEx trailer. On the day we visited, Celebrating Home was directing packages into 4 different FedEx trailers, one for each different part of the United States. During busy seasons, the system can direct into at least 10 different destinations. During periods of lower volume, you can have one loader move between the different trailers because the conveyor system will hold slugs of work. During extremely busy seasons, you may need to have one loader per trailer. This is a shot of the outbound dock outside of the building you just took a tour of. There is also a staging lot for FedEx trailers, so a yard jockey can keep full and empty trailers moving back and forth, ready for pickup at various times by over-the-road FedEx drivers.
Got another component to our operation that's created some SKU slack for us, and we've got to eliminate that lost time.
From a SKU slack perspective.
Actually, we've got personalized items that has James, has James's name on it. So it's cutting boards, some other plaques. That can't go into a location in the pods because it's unique. So we have to figure out a way, how do we match this product up with that box, with that MU? And the MU is a movable unit. That barcode on the side is an MU. So what we came up with, Tony said, this is what we got, figure out how we can do it in this space. And there's times we have this whole area full. So what we came up with is we attach in our system this MU to this location. When manufacturing prints that, does the manufacturing of it and puts that name and puts a work order on it, it also has an MU, that same MU, when we gen these labels, when we print these labels. When that product comes over here onto a pallet, we attach it into a location. From that location, we scan it, that MU, and it tells us where this box is. So the folks walk over here, put that product in the box. Once it's complete, and we do this through an RF pick process. It's very slow, very tedious. We put these boxes onto a cart, take them over to the conveyor, put them on the conveyor, it goes and gets the rest of the product. This is basically what we call a non-conveyable slapper line. This is label pick, it's paper pick. It's, you look at a label, you see where the location is, and we sort those, the printers sort them by locations. So we get a batch of product. That's what you probably do. Go to the location, slap the label on it, put it on this line, but it don't go all the way, it just stops, so it's basically non-conveyable. Then we palletize it by routes at the end of this line.
We use this to help make it easier on our people. This extends and goes into our containers. The last one we had 3 SKUs on it. They'll have anywhere from 1 SKU to 12 to 13 different SKUs on it. When they dock, I'm sure you guys, if you unload containers, you know,
That's all they do.
you got 2 hours to get it out. Generally, we can do it in an hour and a half or so. This allows, having this thing to set the pace, sir?
How many people usually put on?
Just depends how many boxes are on it. If it's, that trailer, I had, there was about 100, and we run the smaller pallet, about 170, about 140, 150 pallets worth, so probably 800, 900 boxes. We would have unloaded it with 4 people probably. If I've got a container that's, you know, got a ton of boxes on it, I'll overstaff to try to, you know, to get it done quickly. I don't want to go into the detention fees. But what we do here now, I don't have a dedicated staff or crew for receiving. I run our, take a look at our dashboard from Gulf Winds, the container company, the drayage company that brings them to us. And I give our other areas heads up a couple of days in advance. Hey, I'm gonna need, you know, a day in advance, hey, I need 5 bodies tomorrow. And they'll dedicate staff to come in and work for me on, you know, Tuesday or whatever. And then if it only takes us an hour and a half to unload the container, I'm not paying people to stand around. They just simply stop and go back to their areas and go back to their jobs. So it's a little better the way we do it now. I don't have near the wasted time because we use the same staff. Now it's tough when they're busy and I'm busy. Then we have to go out and get temporary labor. We just, but I have a little cheat sheet that I created for myself. We try to run per individual. We do the same thing here, UPH. Each individual basically is responsible for 120 boxes an hour. So if I've got 2,000 boxes, divide that by 2 hours into by 120, and it tells you what head count you need, and that'll and then I've got it. Tells me, all right, if I'm going to thin down, because I only have 4 people available instead of 5, it's going to take me 2 hours and 20 minutes, so I can tell them, hey, we're going to have $20 worth of charges with the staff I've got.
For its framed art categories, Celebrating Home assembles everything on site. Yeah. Wait, let me follow you to get out of here. I just don't.